Hello, it's day 139 of the Liberator Project, and you join me in my kitchen today. And we're not going to talk about relationships. We've done far too much of that recently. We're having a break from that, and instead, I'd like to talk to you about the nature of gambling. Because if you remember, on day 125, I told you about a bet I'd made. Now, I don't actually like betting and gambling at all, usually because I have dreadful luck, as you've probably gathered in life. But also, it feels like it's something for nothing. It feels a bit, I don't know, a bit dishonest. It feels a bit, it doesn't feel morally right to bet on things. But anyway, I did bet on the American presidential election because that I think also you should stand by your convictions. And if I was convinced something was going to happen, and other people telling me not, well, I believe something for a reason, and I stand by that. So I felt that being willing to bet something on that proved that I was sticking true to my beliefs. But anyway, the I don't like betting usually, and one of the things is I'm pretty good at maths, and I know that in most games you've got like no chance of winning. There's always fixed, so the house wins, and you get very rich bookmakers, and you get very rich casinos, and people, the longer you bet, the less likely you are to win. Now there is one exception to that, and that's on a casino, and that's blackjack, because what you can do, you can count cards, because the house has got certain rules to stick, it has to stick. I think, was it 14? So if the deck has got a lot of picture cards in it, which means tens come up, you are more likely to win. I think that's the way it is, or less likely to win. I don't know. I haven't played this, but I've watched lectures about this, and I've well, I play cards with friends, but I've never ever played it in a casino, so I don't really know about this. But anyway, the gist of it is that if you count the number of picture cards and you know how many is in total, when there's statistically more picture cards at a value of 10 in the deck, you are more or less likely to win, and then you bet heavy or bet light depending on that balance. That's the sort of, if you're interested, please look up the lectures yourself. I'm not interested in cards like that. I like playing bridge and I like playing poker, but only for fun, not betting seriously. It's Anyway, so you do that, and then you've got like a 4% chance of winning. So basically, if you bet £100, you come up with 104. But of course, it takes a long time to do that, and that just seems like hard work to me, because you've got to concentrate and not lose track. You've got to count the cards, you've got to focus. So you're going to concentrate for a while to get that small return. And also, of course, the casinos are wise to this trick. So they will do things to make it harder. Like they will, they put more decks in the shoe. So statistically, it has less benefit to you. And also, they're watching for card counters. I mean, casinos don't like anyone that wins. That's not how you play the rules. You go to the casino, you have a good time, and you lose your money. So if they see someone that's actually winning significant amounts of money, they will watch you like a hawk. And anyone that was caught card counting was banned and threatened, and wasn't paid. It was just a hell of a thing. So they would argue that it's cheating, whereas, well, it's not. I don't think that's cheating, but I think that's sort of being very mathematical and analysing the odds. But anyway, so I can't see any point in doing that, because it's a lot of hard work for a small return, and if you win big, then you're going to get lots of trouble in your life. So no point doing it. And so that's not a good bet. So I'm losing my train of thought right now. But anyway, there are professional gamblers, and it's quite interesting, because I've watched several lectures about this, and the people are doing sort of statistical mathematics on it, and there are professional gamblers that do win and make a living from betting. And rather counterintuitively, what they do is they don't bet to win the race, because otherwise you'd pick the favourites all the time, and that's not that's not going to be very lucrative, because obviously the betting is designed so if you bet on the favourites all the time, you will still lose. So what they do is they don't try and bet on the winner. They look for bets that have got incorrect odds. Now, the odds are set by how people bet. So someone might not like, say a horse. So no one likes a particular horse. It's called, smelly calf or something. And just for some reason or other, it's not popular. So the odds of that horse given by the bookmakers are 100 to 1. Now, being sort of detached and unemotional from the betting decision, a professional gambler will look at each horse and go, oh, I think that Smelly Calf has got a 1 in 10 chance of winning, but they're offering 1 in 100. And therefore, he'd take that bet. Now, that means that, if it's a fair system, he'll only win once every 10 bets. However, when he wins that one, he will get a return of 100 to 1. So it's worthwhile. So it's, mathematically and financially, it's better for him to do that. And in a fair system, if you look at it, the probability of it, he's actually a lot better off. So it's not trying to pick the winner of a race. If you're a professional gambler, you try and pick the incorrect odds, and some horses will have a better return than they should have, and some will have a worse because the odds are not fixed by their ability, it's fixed by betting. So that's how people do it. Now, the other day I talked about a bet I did, and the bet was basically, it cost £53, and the return on it was roughly 1,000. So you have about a 20 to 1 chance of winning that bet. Now, in a fair system, you place 20 bets, you'll win once. But this was on the American presidential election, and it was very close. I mean, let's be fair, it was sort of 50-50 whether Biden or Trump won. And so you've got, a sort of 50-50 bet there with a 20 to 1 return. Now, statistically, I think that's, if you look at the probability of this, that's actually a worthwhile bet, which is why I did it. And likewise, the bet had also covered the vice presidential candidates. I also bet on Pence and Harris, because that covers that. And also, both Trump and Biden are very old men, so if anything serious happened to them before they were sworn in as president, the vice presidential candidates would be called. And likewise, if the election itself was declared void, then there's several options that could happen, but one of the options is that it gets, what do they call it? A temporary president is nominated, and that would be Leader of the House, which would be Nancy Pelosi. So again, the bet covers her. So basically, the deal is, as long as Biden doesn't win, and that's in January, you've won. So I think that's a fair bet. Now, let's say the odds of that are 50-50, but let's say that Biden's got more of a chance. But what are we saying? What's the most it could be? 1 in 4? Well, okay, you've got a 1 in 4 chance, and you've got a 1 in 20 return. So that's still a good bet to go for. Now, obviously, that's assuming a fair system. Now, at the moment, Betfair, who I had the bet with, have declared that the Biden has won. And that means absolutely nothing in the scale of things, because it doesn't matter if all the media, all the search engines, YouTube, Facebook, if everyone declares that means nothing at all. Obviously, it sways public opinion, but it's not legally binding in any way. The legal resolution or the legal result is the only thing that matters in this case, and at the moment, that's still in dispute. Now, Betfair has got a history of doing this, because in the 2016 election, they called it for Hillary Clinton and they actually paid out on her. Then when it turned out Trump had won, they had to pay out on Trump winning as well, which means they lost £4 million. Now, this is, this was then. Now, if they've already paid out on Biden, but if it turns out that for various reasons Trump wins, they stand to lose £1 billion on this. So that was a bit of a reckless thing, I believe. But there's other forces at work here trying to support the perceived view of the winner. Now, but anyway, there's, looking at it again, trying to be detached from this, there's actually a very good chance the election is overturned. I mean, there's definitely, I have to be careful, because seriously, like, the media censors any discussion about this at all. So you can't mention certain words. It's the platform's getting ridiculous for free speech. So I can't talk about the current situation. I can't talk about strange things that happened in the American presidential election, because they will just delete this video, and then if you get so many strikes, they will delete my channel, which would be a shame, because so I'm also on Rumble, but so far I haven't had one single watcher on Rumble. So really, I'd like to stay on YouTube if I can, so I've got to be careful. But anyway, there were strange things in the election, and it is disputed. Now, if it goes to SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of America, or United States, SCOTUS, what happens is that's, well, very likely to go to Trump, because there is, as far as I've seen, there's sort of all sorts of evidence, and I would say that it's it's very likely that it would go to a Trump victory, in which case, win. The other option is that the election is determined by every state getting a vote, and there is a precedent for that in the past, in which case Trump has got more states, because the Republicans own the cities, and the Republicans own the country, and the Democrats own the cities. So there's more states that are red, and therefore Trump would win in that scenario. Well, the other thing they could do is they could overturn the election, in which case we're back to the start, and it's again another 50-50 race with a 1 in 20 chance of winning. And and again, if it's temporary, as I said, it's a temporary president, then Pelosi wins it, and again we win. So that's I still think that's a good bet. It doesn't matter what Betfair are doing at the moment. All that matters is the result, which isn't till, well, it depends if Trump concedes or Biden concedes. And there's probably damn good reasons why he wouldn't dare do that. But we will see what happens. But it's only until I think it's the 21st of January, around then, that that's the worst case. That's when things are decided, and that's when the bet gets called. So anyway, that's talked a bit about gambling, why I've bet it, and where the situation is with that. And all's not lost. But even if things are lost, there was only a 1 in 4, 1 in 50-50, 1 in 4 chance. So you do lose. This is the nature of gambling. The point is, yes, you'll lose, but the idea, if you win, well, you win more than it makes up for it, because you win a lot more than you would expect to win in that scenario. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.